Okay, good morning, all of you. So I assume that now you can hear me properly and see my shared screen. Can someone respond whether you can see my shared screen properly? Okay. So today is a practical session we are going to do. It's called dynamic routing. Okay. So the last lab session, I think we have done the static routing. So last lab session also this kind of network available, and you send the packet from one network to other network using dynamic routing. Sorry, using static routing. Today you will use the dynamic routing. Okay, so here you can find a network. So this is a network we call 192.168.11.0 network, and there is another network in this side 172.16.00. Okay, so here 192.168 layer 11. So you know this is class C private network, and here 172.16 this is class B private network, and there is another network for the wide area connection, wide area network 10.0.0.0, which means class A private network. Okay, so now we are going to draw, that means load this one to the packet trace simulator and assign the IP address according to the given network address. After that, we will use the dynamic routing. This is the command how to use the dynamic routing. Okay, before going to the dynamic routing, first of all, you have to create this one in the packet trace simulator. I think you have now experience how to do this one in the last lab session also. So quickly open the Cisco packet tracer simulator. Okay, you can save the file here. They have icon available. So it asks you to, I will save this one using lab 5, lab DX5. So you can use whatever the name. And according to the diagram, you have to take the two routers. So I will use go to the routers here, and here you can find the generic router PT. So I will use a generic router. So click this one here, again click this one here. And after that, I need two switches. So here is switches available. So here you can use a switch PT and switch PT empty. So you can use a switch PT. So remember that if you use the switch PT, so PT has only 4 fast Ethernet ports available. Switch PT, this one has 4 fast Ethernet ports. So here how many ports available? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 is enough. So but and after that I have to configure the DHCP servers also. Therefore, I use another switch here. Here you can find 295024. Here this one has 24 ports. The switch model is 2950 model, 2950. Here 24 mean it has 24 ports. So you have so many ports. Therefore, I think it's better you select this one. So here I drop this one and drop this one. 2950 switch. Okay, as well as I need the end devices. How many end devices? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can use the go to the end devices. Here you can use the PCPT. So there are 6 devices. Therefore, I use the control. Press the control. Select this one. After that, release the control. Remember that you need to release the control. After that, you can draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and after that, escape. Okay, now what you can do, you can use this connection. So remember that when you are using the connection, use the proper connection available here. So here I use the serial DCE cable, and from here to here, let's say I use the serial 2/0 and here with serial 2/0. Okay, remember that you need to use the same port 2/0. Here fast Ethernet 0/0. So here I use the copper straight through cable. So here I need so many copper cables: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 8 cables I need. Therefore, I use the control. Press the control, and after that, select this copper straight through cable. After that, release the control. Then you can click this one. Let's say fast Ethernet 0/0, and here connect with. Let's say here 24 ports available. If you use the generic router, only 4 ports available. Here I have 24 ports. I use the first one. So since this is not an assignment, I use the 24 ports. So in the assignment, you need to select the correct switch mentioned in the, here. Actually, it is not clear. So in the assignment, it will be clearly mentioned what is the switch model. You have to use that model. Okay. Here I use the 24 ports and 2/0 with here. And here I use the 0/1 with this one. Okay, anyone has problem up to here? No problem. Okay, let's put the that networking part, sorry, network address part. I think putting the labels is better than going here and there. So I will use the label and put here what is 192.168.11.0/24. 192.168.11.0/24. So then I will select this one and Control C and Control V copy. I use the several case. So I use several labels. So here 24 and this one is I think it is 10 network. So I change this one 10.0.0.0 and 8. 10.0.0.8 and here 172.16. So take another label to this side. 172.16.0.0 and subnet mask is 18. Sorry, 16. 172.16.0.0 and okay. So these are the labels, and before configuring, I think it's better you put the proper labels to here also. So this PC, put an IP address. It should be IP address from this network 192.168.11. So here I use 192.168.11.1. First one to here, and after that take a copy of this one 11.2 and take another variable 11.3 and after that take another label to here 192.168, sorry, 172.16 zeros and let's say 1 0 1 for this one. After that so I think copy this one and paste it to here. So change it as 2 and another one, paste it here and dot 3. Okay. and here default gateway. Here gateway should be here from the 192.16. Let's say 11.100. 11.100. The gateway. And here gateway 16.100. Let's say here gateway. So I copy and paste this one 100. And this side router, other side, it's from the 10 network. Let's say 10.0.0.1.8 is the subnet mask. And here 10.0.0.2. So here now I designed this one. Actually, those labels are not necessary. So if you put the labels, I think it is easy to configure. Now you know the IP address to be set. Okay, let's start configuring. Anyone has problem up to here? No problem. Okay, set the IP address here. Go to the PC0 and go to the desktop. IP configuration here 192.168.11.1. 192.168.11.1. The subnet mask 255.255.255.0. It automatically comes. Remember that the subnet mask automatically comes because it is 192. That means class C. Assume that you have subnetted this one. Assume that subnetted, you have to manually put the subnet mask. Assume that after subnet, this one is assume that 192, then you have to put it as 192. Here automatically comes because it is because this one has not been not subnetted. Therefore, I use the subnet mask as it is. And the default gateway 11.100. 192.168.11.100 is the default gateway. And the DNS server, so here I do not need DNS server. So if you want, you can manually put the DNS server. I will come to the DNS server part later. And save this one. And go to the second one. Go to the desktop. IP configuration. Here 192.168.11.2. And the default gateway 192.168.11.100. And then this one 192.168.11.3. 192.168.11.100. Okay. So carefully examine. Sometimes I also may doing mistakes. So if I did the mistake, so quickly someone can respond. So there is a mistake. I think there is no mistake here 11.3. So you can go to the mouse over. Here 11.3 and here 11.2. Yes. And here it is 11.1. Okay. And go to the this one here 172.16. Go to the desktop 172.16 0.1. So here 0.1. And here automatically take it is class B, therefore 255.255 automatically taken. So if not, you have to manually put 192.16 0.100 is the default gateway. Here default gateway 0.100. And here also desktop configuring 172.16 0.2 0.2 default gateway 192.16 0.100. The last one desktop IP configuring. So 172.16 0.3 172.16.0.100 is the default gateway. Okay, I think it's better time you save the file. Okay, now PC configuration is over. Now go to the router configuration. So I will remove these unnecessary labels. Okay, go to the router configuration. Go to the CLI, and I will little bit expand. And press no. Okay, go to the privilege mode, enable. Okay, now you are in the privilege mode, and go to the configure terminal. That means configuration mode. After that, so you have to configure. So this one, let's say fast Ethernet 0/0. Go to the interface, fast Ethernet 0/0, and you can set IP address. What is the IP address? 192.168.11.100. Subnet mask 255.255.255.0. Okay. After that, no shutdown. Okay. Now exit from this interface. Go to the serial interface, serial 2/0. Go to the interface, serial 2/0. Okay. Now type IP address 10.0.0.1 and subnet mask 255.0.0.0. After that, if you want, you can put the clock rate because there's a clock sign. If you want, you can release clock rate 64,000. After that, no shutdown. Okay, now that part is over. Now go close this one and go to the right side router, router 1. Click on this one and go to the CLI. I little bit expand this part and type no. Type enable, configure terminal, interface fast Ethernet 0/0. Put the IP address 172.16.0.100, subnet mask 255.255.0.0. Here 172.16.0.100 and 255.255.0.0 is the subnet mask. After that, no shutdown. Okay, now this side link is up. Okay, now go to the serial 2/0, this one. You can exit from this interface. Go to the interface, serial 2/0 and put IP address 10.0.0.2 and subnet mask is 8. Sorry, subnet mask is 255.0.0.0. After that, so clock rate is not applicable because clock sign is not there. Therefore, no shutdown. Anyone has problem up to here? I think it's better save now. Okay, now I have set the IP address to the routers, and so now check whether you can connect PC0 to PC1. It is successful, same network. PC1 to PC2, it is successful, same network. So I delete this one and try to use the PC0 to PC3. Fail. Try to do it again. Fail. Try to do it again. Fail. Fail means this router, we have not put any routing mechanism. Okay. So this is whatever the things you have done up to the last lab session. So okay, last lab session, what you have done, you use the static routing. Static routing means each router. So now this router knows directly connected networks. Now this router, you can use, this one has been directly connected and this part also directly connected to this left router. Okay. And if you go to the other one, so this is directly connected to the right side router and this is also directly connected to the right side router. Okay. So what you have done in the previous lab session, now you want to send, assume that now PC0 want to send the packet to the PC3, which means 192.168.11.0 network want to send the packet to the 172.16 network. The thing is, the router doesn't know where is left side router. This router, that means this router doesn't know where is this network. Where is this network? It doesn't know. So that is the problem. There is a problem. Where is that network? Then how do you use this one? You have to manually put this router. If there is a packet to this network, if there's a packet to this network, transfer this to the 10002 interface. Then this router will handle that part. Understood? How did you configure that one? You configure. Here you have to exit from the current interface. Okay, now you are in the configuration mode. How did you put that one? Now you are in the left router. Okay, you have to tell that 172.16 network. That means IP route, and if there is a 172.16.00, after that 255.255.00, you need to pass it to the 10.0.0.2. So this kind of route you have to put. Then it will be passed this one to the here. Then the same thing you have to do to the right side router. So now we have to manually put. Then what happens if you have so many routers, so many networks? If you have, for an example, assume that there is another switch. There is another switch here, and after that I will connect this one with this network. And assume that there are some PCs available, and this is another network. This is another network. Okay. Assume that then what we have to do? Then assume that this network is assume that this is layer 12 network, 12.0. Okay. Then what you have to? After putting this command, you have to put another one 192.168.12.0. Here you have write another one. 192.168.12.0, 255.255.255.0. In this network also, you have to pass that packet to the 10.0.0.2, this interface. 10.0.0.2. So likewise, assume that you have several networks, you have to put the line one by line. Manually you have to put. So it is not an easy task for the network administrator. So assume that there is another router here. Assume that now there is another router. And after that, assume that this kind of configuration. So this one doesn't have. Okay, take another router, generic router, and try to configure likewise. Assume that this kind of network. And here there is another one. Assume that there is another switch to here. Likewise. And there are some PCs available likewise here. Assume that this is 13 network. Okay. And here also another part. Assume that 10 network here, this one. Then there will be another. What happened here? 10.0.0.8. 2010/8. Assume that this is 10 network, assume that this is 11 network. And assume that there is another, this side is 12 network. So that such kind of complex network available. Then what you have to do? Assume that this from 19 to 168 11 network want to send the packet to the this network and this network. Assume that this is another network. Here this is 13. This is 13. Then assume that for the 12 and the 16, you can send the packet to the 10.0.0.2 this side. 12 and 16, you can send the packet to this side. And assume that now you need to send the packet to the 13 network, then there are two paths available. If you want to send the packet to the 13 network, you can go here to here. Or otherwise, you can go from here to here. Two paths available. So then you can write whatever the path. That means if there is a network to this side, you can pass it to the this port or otherwise this port. Then you have to tell this, assume that you pass the packet not in this way. You put the packet on this way. Then what you have to do in the this router, you have to say tell to this router also, if there is a packet to this network, pass it to the here. Assume that you erroneously put if there is a packet to this network, you pass it to the here. Then what happened? When this PC, when this one sent the packet to this network, it passed through this area. Okay, it passed through this area. Then this router has configuration. If there is a packet to this one, then pass it to the here. Then what happened? It will be passed here and there. So you have to properly put the configuration. If the packet pass to here, then this router should packet pass to the here. You have to manually put this one. However, so it will be no going here and there. So there is a TTL value. We call the TTL. TTL means time to leave. So each packet has time to leave. Assume that time to leave is 128, which means maximum you can pass 128 route. Assume that this kind of loop available. The loop so only 128 routers it can 128 path it can go maximum. So which means when the packet is come to here, assume that TTL value is 128. So the router will send the packet to here with reduce the TTL value by 1. When the packet come to the here, it is 127. Then what happened? Then this packet pass the packet to again here. Then it is 126. So likewise, it will be reduced 1 by 1. Once it becomes 0, packet will be discarded. So did you understand this part? දැන් මේ packet මෙහාට යනකොට මේ TTL value එකක් කියලා දුන්නා. නැත්නම් මේ මෙතන අතරමැද මේක ඇතුළේ loop වෙවි ගියොත් එම් packet එක මොකද වෙන්නේ? මෙතන network traffic එක වැඩි වෙනවා. දැන් TTL value එක 128යි කියලා දුන්නොත් ඒ උඩරිම packet එක යන්න පුළුවන් 128යි route. මේ router එකෙන් එක පැත්තකට යනකොට මේ TTL value එක අඩු කරලා යවන්න. අඩු කරලා TTL value එක බිඳු වුණ ගමන් packet එක discard කරනවා router එක එතනින් එහාට යවන්නේ. Otherwise this will increase the network traffic. Okay, so that is the disadvantages of that we call static routing. So you have to manually put everyone. Okay, so therefore the new part we call the dynamic routing has been introduced. Okay, now I will erase that additional network parts. Here you can use the delete. This is additional. This is additional. Okay. Now only this one we have. Now what we have to do is we have to do the dynamic routing. So there are several protocols available for dynamic routing. So today I will teach you the RIP and EIGRP protocol. Okay, how to use the RIP protocol? First of all, we go to the RIP. We have to go for click the left router, and Here this is the static routing mechanism. I am not going to use the static routing, therefore I will erase this one. So you have to use the command router and rip. Router rip. Rip means router information protocol. You enable dynamic routing, router rip. Here you can say config router, which means you are inside the rip protocol. Okay, inside the RIP protocol, you have to tell, now you are in the left router, router 0. In here, you have to tell what are the directly connected network to this router. Okay, tell me what are the directly connected network to this router. You know, in this network means here 192.168.11.0. It is directly connected. As well as this network, which means 10.0.0.0. That is also directly connected. Now, you know the main router may directly connected here. But here, this one, is it directly connected? No, this one has not been directly connected. Therefore, what you have to do is you have to tell to this router this 192.168.11.0 and 10.0.0.0 networks are directly connected. So how to tell that to the router? You can go to the router and tell network. First of all, take the 192.168.11.0. 192.168.11.0 and no subnet mask need to be provided. Just press enter. Okay. As well as 10.0.0.0 network connected. Okay. You can use the previous connection, that you can use the up arrow key. When you press the up arrow key, previous command you can take and erase this one. What is the next one? 10.0.0.0. And press enter. Okay. That's all. Now go to this right side router. Okay, what you can do in the right side router, go to the enable, configure terminal, the configuration mode, put the router RIP and press enter. And here also you have to put the directly connected network. For this router, what are the directly connected? What are the directly connected? So here this network directly connected. And this network also directly connected. What are the directly connected network? 10.0.0.0 and 172.16.0.0. Therefore, you have to tell this one to this router. What are the directly connected? 172.16.0.0. Sorry, you have to put the command network. Network 172.16.0.0 and press enter. Again, press the up arrow key. What is the other network? 10.0.0.0 and press enter. Okay. Now those two networks are directly connected. Okay. Those are the configuration we have done. Okay. Now we will check whether we can close this one. Try to send the packet from here to here. In progress, fail, try to do it again. Yes, successful. Likewise, use the other one here to here. In progress, fail, try to do it again. Yes, it is successful. So I delete this one and others one. From here to here, successful. Here to here, in progress, fail, try to do it again. Successful. From here to here, successful. Now all are successful. Okay. If it is fail, you have to do it again. Do it 3 times. If the all 3 times fail, then obviously that's a problem. You have to check your configuration. Now, පළවෙනි පාර මෙහෙම එකපාරට දාපු ගමන් මේක යන්නේ නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙම වුණ නැත්නම් තුන් පාරක් ඒක කරන්න තුන්වෙනි පාරත් වැඩ කරන්නේ නැත්නම් ඒ කියන්නේ configuration වල අවුලක්. Okay, this is we call the dynamic routing, RIP. Okay. So there is another one called EIGRP. Okay. Up to here, do you have any problem? Before going to the next one? Anyone has problem up to here? Tell me at least whether you can hear me or not. I don't know. There is no response from your side. Okay. Okay. Before going to the EIGRP, you have to remove the RIP. Otherwise, no point of putting the other routing mechanism. No? දැන් අපි EIGRP routing දාන්නේ. ඒක දාන්න කලින් දැන් මේ දාපු RIP එක අයින් කරගන්න වෙනවා. දැන් RIP එක දාලා දීදී කොහොමද routing වෙලානේ දින්නේ EIG දාලා තේරුමක් නැහැ. So first of all, you have to remove the router RIP. Okay, before removing, now you are inside the router RIP. Here config router mean inside. First of all, exit. Okay, now you need to remove the router RIP. How to remove? You can remove any command by using the knob. How to enable the router RIP? You have to use router RIP. If you put router RIP, it will enable the router RIP. Now you need to disable. How to disable? You have to go to the no router RIP. Then the RIP will be erased. Okay. And likewise, go to the right side router, exit from here and type no router RIP. Okay. Now try to send the packet. Now we have erased the routing. Fail. 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 Okay, 3 times fail, which means now no routing mechanism. We have erased the router. So we have erased the router RIP. Therefore, now only within the network can communicate. Here to here it is communicate within the network. Inter-network communication has been disabled because currently no routing mechanism has been configured. Okay, now we are going to introduce the EIGRP. How to go to this one? Go to the configuration mode. Okay, you are currently in configuration mode. So likewise, type router, and previously you use RIP. Now you need to use EIGRP, Enhanced Interior Gateway Routing Protocol. RIP means Router Information Protocol. Assume that now you don't know what is the command to type here, then use the question mark. When you put the question mark, it say you can use the BGP, which means Border Gateway Protocol, or EIGRP, Enhanced Interior Gateway Protocol, or OSPF, Open Shortest Path First Protocol, and RIP. RIP means Router Information Protocol. This one we have already used now. We have used the RIP. Now I am going to use the EIGRP. Today I am doing only the RIP and EIGRP, not the BGP and OSPF. So RIP and the EIGRP. RIP we have done and we have erased now. Now go to the EIGRP. So type router EIGRP, E and tab. And after that, remember, not like RIP. Here you have to put an number called autonomous number. Okay, if you don't know, you can put the question mark. Here it is asked autonomous system number you have to mention. It is 1 to 65,535. That is the range. Okay, what does it mean by autonomous number? Which means you can group the routers. That means routers that EIGRP works on that group. For an example, here I will use the group number 3. Let's say 3. So now this router is belong to the EIGRP autonomous 3 group. Okay, so I will explain what does it mean by 3. Then what happened? Again, like RIP, you have to put the directly connected network. Okay, what are the directly connected network to this router? 192.168.11.0 and 10.0.0.0. Okay, put these networks. How to put? Type the network 192.168.11.0. Again, put this command 10.0.0.0. Okay. Now I will close and go to this one. Okay. Here also now I will have erased the RIP. Now use router EIGRP, and here also you have to use the same autonomous number. Previously here you use 3. If you use any other number, 5 or something, then what happen? The EIGRP protocol will be enabled, but it will be synchronized only within the group. දැන් මෙතන 5 කියලා දැම්මොත් එහෙම මෙයා රවුටර් එක ඔටෝමැටික් මේවට ගෲප් කරගන්නේ කොහොමද? 5 තියෙනවා විතරයි. දැන් මෙයා දැම්මේ 3 කියලානේ. එතකොට මෙයාත් එක ගෲප් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. So it is meaningless. It is useless if you use another group. Therefore use the same group number. Here you use the 3, then here also use the 3. Then put the directly connected network. What are the directly connected? 10.0.0.0, and then it will be automatically identify the dual 5 neighbor, EIGRP neighbor 10.0.0.1 serial is up the adjacency. It automatically identify when you put this network, it communicates with this router, it identify there is a neighbor. මේක දුන්න ගාම මොකද 10.0.0 දුන්න ගාම මෙයා කරගන්න මෙයා මේ රවුටර් එකේ තුනත් එක්ක යා කමියුනිකේට් කරගන්නවා. කමියුනිකේට් කරගත්තාම මෙයා කියනවා මට තියෙනවා ඩිරෙක්ට්ලි කනෙක්ටර් මේ රවුටර් එක කියනවා මට තියෙනවා මෙන්න මේ නෙට්වර්ක් එකයි මේ නෙට්වර්ක් එකයි කියලා. මෙයා කියනවා මටත් තියෙනවා මෙන්න මේ නෙට්වර්ක් එකයි මේ නෙට්වර්ක් එකයි. දෙන්නම අතුර ගන්නවා මෙන්න මේක පොදුයි කියලා දෙන්නටම. Both of routers identify this network has been common. That is why here it is display the common neighbor 10.0.0.1 here has been identified. Okay, now press enter again. Okay, now you enter only the 10.0.0.0. You have to enter this one also, 172.16. Again put up arrow key, put 172.16.0.0. Okay, now you have put both networks. Now try to communicate from here to here, successful. Here to here, successful. Here to here, successful. Here to here, successful. Everyone are successful. So this is the EIGRP, Enhanced Interior Gateway Routing Protocol. So however, when you put the directly connected network, routers will communicate within the group. Okay, here we put the group number 3, here also we put the group number 3. So within the 3 they will be communicated and identify the routing path. Same as in the RIP. RIP, there is no group available. Likewise, 3 or 5 or autonomous number is not available for the RIP. So therefore, if you enable the RIP, it will communicate with all the RIP enabled routers and identify the path automatically. එතන මොකද RIP හරි EIGRP දැම්මම මොකද වෙන්නේ? මෙයාට කියනවා directly connected මේ දෙන්න ඉන්නවා කියලා. මෙයාටත් කියනවා එයාට ඉන්න මේ දෙන්න කියලා. ඒතකොට ඒ දෙන්න communicate කරලා path ටික හොයා ගන්නවා. They will use the algorithm and find the routing paths automatically. You do not need to manually put. Okay, when you are going to manually put, assuming that so many routers, so many networks are available, you have to write each line for each network. So it is so very messy configuration for the network administrator. Therefore, we use the dynamic routing, the automatically identify. We need to give only the directly connected networks. Then they will automatically identify the routing paths. Anyone has problem up to here? Shall we move to the next part? No problem. Okay, go to the next one. Exercise 2, configure DHCP and DNS server. So what does it mean by DHCP and DNS server? So here you manually put IP address for each PCs. Here manually put IP address for each PC. That is also it is become a headache for the network administrator. Assume that there are 100 computers available in this network. Then manually put IP address. What are the configuration you have to put? You have to put the IP address, subnet mask, default gateway. So assume that you need to access the internet, then you need to put the DNS server also. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 addresses you have to manually put for each computer. So it is also become headache for the network administrator. Therefore, there's another one called DHCP. That means automatically take the IP address according to the DHCP server. Okay, what does it mean by DHCP? Mean dynamic host configuration protocol. That means dynamically allocate IP address. Address IP address automatically. 1, 2, 3, this kind of IP address will be allocated automatically. Okay, how to do that one? You have to enable the DHCP server. Okay, there are two ways you can enable the DHCP server. One way is inside the router. Inside the router, you can ask the router to automatically give the IP address for the devices using the DHCP server. Or otherwise, you can use the server, that means computer, to automatically give the IP addresses. Okay, let's first do the router configuration for the DHCP. Okay, how to do the router configuration? You have to open the router, click the router, go to the CLI mode, and now still you are in the EIGRP configuration protocol. Therefore, exit from here. Okay, now you are in the global configuration protocol. Okay, here global configuration protocol, you have to enable DHCP pool. So DHCP, we call the DHCP, enable the DHCP IP pool. How to enable? You have to use the IP and DHCP, type the D and tab. So DHCP and tab. IP DHCP, and after that you have to put the command called pool. IP DHCP pool. After that you have to put a name for your pool. That means which was your DHCP, we call the DHCP pool. So let's say my pool 1, my pool 1, or you can use whatever the name you like. Okay, and press enter. Now you have enabled the DHCP pool. Okay, when you enable the DHCP pool, remember that you have to provide these kind of things automatically. That means this IP address and subnet mask and the default gateway, as well as assume that we are using the internet, then you have to use the DNS. What does it mean by DNS? Domain name system. Domain name system means, for an example, assume that you need to go to the Facebook. You just type the facebook.com. Then you will be automatically come to the Facebook site. Assume that you need to go for the another one. Assume that cisco.com. Then when you type cisco.com, it go to the Cisco web page. So what actually happened? So when you put the Cisco, actually there is an IP address for the Cisco domain. So this Cisco, this website. So you have to write this IP address. Assume that IP address of Cisco domain is so 145.54.12.97. Assume that this is the IP address for the Cisco. You have typed this one. So actually it is very hard to remember this kind of IP address. Then actually what you have to do, you have to put a DNS server. That means you type only the cisco.com. When you type the cisco.com, there is a DNS server available. The computer asks what is the IP address of cisco.com. It will provide the IP address, after that you connect. So that is the meaning of DNS server. Okay. So if you are using the internet, you have to provide where is the DNS server available. Okay. If you want, you can put the DNS server as the router. Router itself, it can handle the DNS server. Okay, otherwise you can put a separate computer for the DNS server. We will configure this one one by one. Okay, now this kind of thing actually you have to configure 4 things. Okay, now again go to the router. Okay, now you enable your DHCP pool and name, and here you have to put that range. It is start from 11.1 sorry, network address is 192.168.11.0. You have to provide the network address for the DHCP. So here you have to put network and type 192.168.11.0. It is the network. 11.1 means the IP address of this particular network, and this is the network address. Provide the network address, and after that subnet mask 255.255.255.0, because subnet mask is 24.255.255.255.0. Okay, then this one will be automatically set the IP address. Okay, press enter. Then when you enable the DHCP, this will automatically set the IP address on behalf of you. You do not need to manually put. It will automatically set the IP addresses. Okay, not only the IP address, the IP address and subnet mask, both will be assigned because you put the IP address and subnet mask. So this will be automatically assigned IP address and the default gateway. Okay, you have to tell me, sorry, you have to tell to the router what is the default gateway also. This one also you have to put. For all the computers, it is common. දැන් මේ IP එක නම් machine එකේ වෙනස් වෙනවා. නමුත් මේ 10 කියන 1100 කියන එක හැම machine එකකම පොදුයි default gateway. You have to provide the default gateway also. How to provide the default gateway? We call it is as default router. Type D and tab, sorry, DE tab, default router. What is the default router? Actual default router is 11.100. You have mentioned here also 11.100. You have to put 192.168.11.100 is the default router. And assume that you have DNS server, then you can provide the DNS server address also. So assume that now you have manually put the DNS server. Okay. So I will enable DNS server like so. Here you can go to the devices. Here you can find the server PT. End devices, go to the end devices. You can find the server PT. So here I click the server PT and click it to here. And here this is server 0. So I will put a label. I think that this is our DNS server. This is our DNS server. Okay. Now we will connect this one to here. Okay. When you are using the DNS server, you have to manually put the IP address. That means static IP address you have to put. Assume that DNS server IP address is it should also from this network 192.168.11. Let's say 200. This is our DNS server. And the default gateway is, this is the gateway 11.100. 192.168.11.100. Okay. And so DNS here you do not need any DNS server because this is the DNS server. And close this one. Okay, now what is the IP address of DNS server? What is the IP address of DNS server? 11.200. Okay, in this router, so now you have put the network. This is the network and this is the gateway, and you can put the DNS server. Type DN and tab DNS server 192.168.11.100. Sorry, 11.200. This is our DNS server. Okay, then I will close this one. Okay, now you do not need to manually set the IP address. So go to the PC, go to the IP configuration, put the DHCP. Then what happened? Requesting DHCP address, so automatically take the IP address. It take 192.168.11.1 automatically, and 255.255.255.0, and the default gateway, whatever the default gateway we have configured here. Whatever the default gateway we have configured, whatever the DNS server we have configured, all will be comes automatically. you see that one? By using the DHCP. Likewise, all the PCs now put the DHCP, go to the IP, put the DHCP, request in, and now this auto will take the 11.2. Here, first one it takes the 11.1, and automatically this PC it 11.2. Others are same as it is. And go to the this one, IP configuration, DHCP, request in, okay, 11.3. And this is the DNS server. Automatically it find the IP address, because now our what is the what is our DHCP server? This is our router. This is our DHCP server. Menna meka thamai DHCP server. So this is our DHCP server. So what happened when you are using the DHCP? This computer asks an IP address from the DHCP server. Then this router will give you the IP address and the DNS server address, the gateway address. All the addresses pass through the network to this PC when the PCs are request from the DHCP server. Okay, this is one way of connecting the DHCP server. Okay, now try to connect with the other side from here to here. Successful. Here to here. Successful. From the DNS server to here. Successful. DNS server to here. Successful. So likewise, this will be configured. And there is another one. Assume that we need to exclude some IP address from the DHCP server. That means here when you use the 11.0, so IP address start from 11.1 to 11.254. දැන් මෙතන බිඳුව කියලා දුන්න ගමන් මේ IP එක පටන් ගන්න 1 ඉඳලා 254 දක්වාම යනවා. So it will assign the IP address from 1 to 254. You cannot use 255 because it is broadcast. You cannot use 0, it is network. So IP address will be automatically assigned from 1 to 254. Assume that some IP address ranges you need to skip. You need to provide some IP address ranges to some special computers and special servers. Assume that 11.1 to 11.10 address do not assign. Likewise, here it assigned 11.1, and here second one assigned 11.2. Assume that 11.1, 2, 3, 4 up to 10 do not assign. Okay, up to 10 do not assign, 11 and onwards assign. So then you can put to the DHCP server, when you are configuring, you can put IP DHCP. So sorry, you have to put it in the configuration mode. So sorry, global configuration mode. Now you are inside the DHCP configuration mode. First of all, exit from the mode. Oh, now you are in the global configuration mode. Here you have to put IP DHCP exclude address. Type X and tab. Excluded address. You have to exclude the address, and you have to put the start address and the end address to be excluded. Let's say start address is 192.168.11.1. Start from 1, put space up to 10. 192.168.11.10. Start from 1 up to 10. Do not assign this IP range to the devices. And press enter. Okay. Now go to these PCs. Go to the IP configuration. Still the one has been assigned in the previous. Click the static and click the DHCP again. Now it is start from 11. 1 to 10 has been reserved because it is in the excluded list. Now go to this one. Here 2 has been assigned previously. Use the static and again DHCP. Here now you can see next IP address available. 12 has been assigned. Go to the next IP configuration. Here 3 has been assigned. Go to the static and again request. Now we give you the 13. So likewise, you can exclude some IP range. So this is the DHCP configuration on the router. Anyone has problem up to here? Okay. Next one is configure the DHCP server using a computer. That means using a server rather than using the router. Okay. Let's do the DHCP for this network. That means 172.16 network. We will use a server instead of this router. If you want, you can use this router for the DHCP configuration for this site. Okay, this side network. So here I do not use this router. I will use a server. Here go to the end devices, click the server. So you can put the server to the here and put a label as if that now this is DHCP server. Just put a label DHCP server. Okay. Then connect this one with here. Okay, now for the DHCP server, you have to put the static IP. Here for the DHCP server, you cannot put the DHCP IP. Here for the DHCP server, you have to statically put an IP address. Okay, how to put the statically IP address? Here 172.16. Let's say 172.16 0 dot, let's say 100 use. You can use so 200 if you want. So let's say 50. Okay. The DHCP server address is 0.50. Okay. So you can use whatever the IP address in this range. And 255.255.255.0. And the default gateway is 192.168.0.100. Sorry, 192.16.0.100. Okay. Okay, now you are going to configure the DHCP server. Okay, you have to set the pool. Here, can you remember you created that my pool 1 and network and the default router, DNS server, those things. So likewise, you have to put this one. You can put it in the configuration tab. Okay, in the configuration tab. So first of all, click this DHCP server and go to the configuration tab. Here you can find the DHCP. Click the DHCP. And remember that if you are using the Mac operating system for the packet tracer, that means newest version. Here I use the version is packet tracer 6.0.1. If you are using the 7 point, that means Mac users, they don't have this version. So Mac users, they have the 7 point version. If you are using the 7 point version, so this DHCP available in the new tab called, I think, service tab. Okay, there will be another tab called service tab. It is not available, services. Okay, here physical config desktop custom interface. Likewise, there will be another tab available called services. So you have to go to services tab and you can find the DHCP server if you are using the version 7. Okay, now you are using this version. Here you can find the DHCP server, and here you can put the server name, server pool or my pool or whatever the name you can use. Here let's say my pool, let's say 2, whatever the name you can put, and the default gateway. So what is the default gateway? All these PCs, what is the default gateway? 16.100. You have to put 172.16.0.100 is the default gateway, and the DNS server. Okay, we have not put any DNS servers, no? If you want, so you can put the default gateway as the DNS server. If you configure this one as a DNS server, you can put the default gateway as the DNS server. That means 172.16.0.100. Okay, actually, I think we do not need another DNS server. From the left side, we put the DNS server here, no? So we can use this DNS server. So 192.168.11.200. Actually, still we have not configured the DNS server. Assume that this is act as a DNS server, then 192.168.11.200. So I will put this one. 192.168.11.200. So this is the DNS server. Then someone go and assume that this PC want to go to the internet, send the request from to this one, where is the cisco.com, then this server will give you the IP address. Then they can go to the internet like domain name resolution. Okay, now you have you have put the default gateway and the DNS server as well as start and end IP address. So when you are sending IP address, here it should be start from 172.16.0.1 start IP. That means if you want, you can put 172.16.0.0 also. 0.0 mean actually it doesn't send the 0, it starts from 1. So if you configure, you can put start IP is 0.1, or otherwise you can use 0.0, but 0.0 never put to an IP address because computer know this is the network address. If you put 0.0, it will be start from 0.1 and onwards. And this is the subnet mask, and the maximum number of users you can put the 512, or you can use a less than any value. And the otherwise, okay, then after that put the add. Okay, now you can see the two. So previous one is the server pool. That means we have not configured that one. So if you want, you can remove that the previous one server pool. It has been not. It is the default one. Okay, now this is our one. So you have to enable this one. Okay, how to enable? Select this one, my pool 2, and press on. Then it will be automatically enable the DHCP server. Then it will be, when someone requests IP address, this will send the IP address from 172.16.0.1 to 172.16.255.254 up to 254. Okay, and this is the DNS server and this is the default gateway. Okay, now we have configured the DHCP server. And go to the PC's IP configuration, put it from the DHCP, request in IP address. DHCP successful, but the gateway is incorrect. So I think I did a mistake. What is the mistake I have done? I have enabled two DHCP pools. That means here we have two pools available. Server pool and server, both are on. Therefore, put the server pool, this one has not been configured, therefore put it as off. Server pool, I put it as off, and this is I configured one. This is, you have to put it as, when you're putting both one, become, can't we remove this one? Yeah, the problem is remove this one, where whatever we have connected, I have removed. After that, let's say change this one as whatever the name you like, my pool 2. After that, default gateway, what is the default gateway? 172.16.0.100, and the DNS server 11.200. 192.168.11.200 is the DNS server. And after that, 00, this one is okay, and put the save. Do not put that, then it will be at another one. Put it as save. Server pool cannot be more. I think you may have to put the same name. I don't know why it is not allowed to change that one. So put the same name as server pool. Default gateway 172.16.0.100 and the DNS server 192.168.11.200 and save. Okay, I use the same name. Server pool 172.16.0.100 192.168.11.200 is the DNS server and the start IP address 0 and the default gateway is this one. Okay, now close this one. Go to the first PC, go to the static and again DSCP. Yeah, now it is successful. It starts from 01, gateway 100 and the DNS server 11.200. So likewise, go to the second one, go to the configuration, use the DSCP, request in IP address 0.2, 11.200. Again, go to the IP configuration, DSCP, request in IP address 0.3, 0.100 and 11.200. Okay. Now check whether you can communicate with here to here. Yes, successful. Here to here. Fail. PC5 to PC1. Again PC5 to PC1. Yeah, now successful. Here to here. Successful. Here to here. All have successful. Okay. Now check whether how do the DNS server is working. Okay. Let's take another server called the web server. Actually, you do not need another server. You can configure the web server inside the DNS server and the DSCP server. I think it is better you can take the another server. Assume that this is a web server. Okay. So put this name as web server. Assume that Facebook or whatever the cisco.com or whatever the web server is there. Okay. Now I will configure this one to this here. Okay. In the web server also I will put an IP address. Okay. From in the DSCP server here, you have put excluded some IP addresses from 1 to 10. Therefore, we can use that special address for the web server. Okay. Web server I use not the DSCP. If you want, I can use the DSCP. Then it will be automatically taken the. So requesting DSCP failed. What happened? Yeah, DSCP successful. It comes automatically 14. I think that I do not need the 14. I need my static IP for this one because I release 1 to 10. So here I use 192.168.11.1. It is my web server address. And subnet mask as it is default gateway 192.168.11.100 is the default gateway. Okay, I do not need the DNS server because I am not going to see the web pages from the web server. Therefore, I use it as it is. And so 11. Why I use 11.1? Because 11.1 will never configured by this DSCP. Here the DSCP server. In this side, this is the DSCP server. So I copy and paste. This is the DSCP for this side. This is the DSCP server for this side. From this DSCP server, I put the excluded IP address from here 1 to 10. Therefore, I use the 1 address to my web server. Okay. Now assume that someone want to from this network. Assume that from this network someone want to access this website. So how to access the website? You can go to the PC. How do you usually access website? Open the computer, go open the Google Chrome or whatever the web browser and type the IP address. So here you can find the web browser. You can click the web browser and here you can put the IP address. So what is the IP address we have put? Copy and paste. We put IP address as 11.1. No? So which means not this one. So this 11.1 is no longer accessible from here. Now 11.1 is accessible from here. Okay, now you can type 192.168.11.1. Okay, you can find the website is available. Cisco Packet Tracer, this is the website. Okay. Now, so here what you have to do, you have to manually type the address 192.168.11.1. Then it will come. So usually actually we don't type the IP address. We type so whatever the domain name. I think that the domain name for this one is mysite.com. mysite.com. Okay, when you use the, again I will use, let's say my site, whatever the name you like, mysite.com. So actually it cannot find because it requests from the DNS server what is the IP address of mysite.com, but the DNS server has no idea because mysite.com is what is the IP address. So what you can do, you can go to the DNS server and you can go to the config. In the DNS server, you can go to the config and go to the DNS configuration. Here you can put the name. What is the name? mysite.com. mysite.com. And address. What is the address? mysite.com 192.168.11.1. 192.168.11.1. And put this add button as a record. Okay, as a record, put an add. Okay, now DNS server has a record. mysite.com address is 192.168.11.1. Okay, after that you have to open the DNS server. Although there's a DNS server available, it is off. On the DNS server, currently DNS server is off. Now I have turned on. Okay, now go to this one and try to mysite.com and go. Okay, now it is working. mysite.com, it asks the address from this DNS server and DNS server give the IP address 192.168.11.1 to this computer. Then it will directly access 192.168.11.1. Then you can access the DNS server. Okay, anyone has problem up to here? Today we have covered dynamic routing and DHCP configuration, DHCP configuration on router as well as DHCP configuration on the server as well as DNS servers. And this is the end of the lab session. Anyone has problem up to here? No problem. Tell me at least whether you can hear me or not. Still no response. Hello, are you there? Yeah, okay, can hear. Okay, now so next Tuesday, you don't have a lab session. Next Tuesday means not tomorrow. There is a question. So can you do a summary of things done today? Yeah, summary of, if you do some summary. So first one is dynamic routing. How do you put the dynamic routing? So you have to go to the configuration router and you have to go to the enable and configure terminal. And here you have to enable router RIP or whatever the protocol. Assume that router RIP. Okay, you enable the router RIP. After that, you have to put the directly connected network. This router directly connected 10.0.0.0 directly connected 192.168.11.0 also directly connected. So you can write network 192.168.11.0 is directly connected, as well as 10.0.0.0 is directly connected. Okay, that is the router IP. And here also you have to do the same thing. Enable configure terminal and router IP. Now you enable the router IP. After that you have to use directly connected network 10.0.0.0. You can type network 10.0.0.0 and enter. And after that, this side 172.16.0.0. 172.16.0.0. Okay, that is all for the dynamic routing. That means RIP dynamic protocol. Then after that, you can send the packet from here to here. And the next one is EIGRP. Okay, if you are using the EIGRP, you have to disable this one first, because you have enabled this one router RIP. So first of all, exit from this one. You have to use no router RIP. And there is another one. Assume that when you are enabling router RIP, okay, after enabling router RIP, you have to put the directly connected network. How to put the directly connected network? You can use network 10.0.0.0. Likewise, network 192.168. What are the directly connected? 192.168.11.0. 11.0. After that, 10.0. Here, 10.0. Again, you have to use 10.0. When you are typing 10.0, assume that you accidentally put 11.0.0.0. You have to type 10.0.0.0, but you accidentally put 11.0.0.0 and press enter. Then how to erase this one? Doesn't matter, it is very easy to read. One, type the command again with no in front of. Then only that 11 will be erased, 192 will be there. After that, you can put network 0.0.0. Okay, whatever the command you can erase easily by using the no keyword. Okay, however, that is the router IP. And let's say EIGRP. So first of all, I will disable the router IP. Router IP, in front of, you have to put the no router IP. Okay, now enable what you have enabled, router EIGRP. So router EIGRP, here you have to put an autonomous number. Okay, assume that autonomous number is 10. Put the 10. After that, directly connected network. Network 10.0.0.0, which means this network. After that, 192.168.11.0. Again, same thing like RIP 192.168.11.0. So this is the EIGRP. The same thing you have to use in here. So here you can use exit, no router RIP. That means if you do not put the router, if you do not provide configure the router RIP, then do not put the router RIP again, no router RIP. දැන් මේ router RIP එක හැදුවේ නැත්නම් මෙතන no router RIP කියලා බොරුවට ගහන්න යන්න එපා. ඒතකොට කිය එහෙම ගන්න නැහැ කියලා. Okay. So no router RIP, then router EIGRP, same autonomous number. Previously I put 10, here also 10. Then again directly connected network. What are the directly connected? 10.0.0.0. It automatically identifying neighbor, because here also autonomous number 10 available, here also autonomous number 10 is 10 network available. Again enter, type the network. What is the network? Other network 172.16 network. 172.16.0.0. Okay, That is the end of the dynamic routing. Okay. Next one is enable the DHCP server. Okay. There are two ways of enabling DHCP server. That means rather than manually put IP address to PCs, you can enable the DHCP server. Okay. How to enable the DHCP server? As in that from the left router, you need to enable the DHCP server. There are two ways I told you. One way is you can enable using the router. Second way is you can enable using the DHCP server, likewise here. Okay, first of all, how to enable using the router? You have to go for the global configuration mode. Now you are in the router EIGRP mode. So exit from this one. Okay, now you are in the global configuration mode. Here you have to use IP DHCP. You can put a name. Let's say my pool. Let's say my pool 3, whatever the name you like. Sorry, DHCP, you have to use another command called pool. Pool, after that, my pool 3 or whatever the name you like. After that, what you can do, you have to connect what is the network for the DHCP server. So network is 192.168.11.0. So you have to use network 192.168.11.0. That is the network. After that, subnet mask 255.255.255.0. Okay. That is the network. After that, you have to put the default router. That means default gateway. This is the gateway 11.100. You have to put the default router. Default router 192.168.11.100. Okay, that is the default router. After that, the DNS server. So DNS server is available here 11.200. DNS server 192.168.11.200. Okay, that's the DNS server, sorry, DHCP server configuration. If you want to exclude any IP addresses, let's say you do not need to send the IP address from 5 to 10. Do not send the assign IP address from 5 to 10. So then how you can use? You can use, first of all, you have to exit from here. You have to go to the global configuration. Type IP DHCP excluded addresses. Put 192.168.11.5 from 5 to 10. Assume that you need from 5 to 10. Then 11.5, 192.168.11.10. From 5 to 10, that means 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 do not assign. We can use it for the special purpose if you want. This is how you can put the excluded addresses. Okay, so this is the end of the DHCP server. Okay, assume that now you need to configure the DHCP same server using this kind of PC server. Okay, it is configured in here in the right side. How to configure? You can use the DHCP server, go to the configuration mode, or if you are using the version 7, there is a services tab available. Go to the services tab. So here I don't have the services tab, I have the configuration tab. Go to the DHCP. Here you have to put the name, after that the default gateway. Likewise, in the previous here, you put the default router, DNS server, those things. Here also you have to put the same thing. That means default gateway, DNS server, and the start IP address. 00 means actually start from 01 because it knows 00 is a network address. And the maximum number of unit you can use 512, as if that only put the IP address for the, as in the 200 computers, then you put the 200 only. Do not provide anymore. So here it put the 512. After that, save. Okay. Now you can find your configuration available in here. After that, remember you have to on. I think by default it is available in off mode. You have to you have to enable the DSCP server. Okay. So the same thing. If you want, you can configure it using the router or router this router or this router, or otherwise using the DSCP server. Then you can enable automatically taken when you put the DSCP, automatically taken the IP address. When you are using the DSCP, it will automatically taken the IP address. Okay. So, and the DNS server, as in that now this PC want to communicate the web server in here. So if you want, you can put the DNS. So actually, this is a manual part. This will be up. This should be updated automatically. Here, how the DNS server is working. So I put the example name is 11.1, and you can directly connect using mysite.com. Then automatically connect to this one using the DSCP, using the DNS server. Okay, this is the summary of whatever the things we have done today. Anyone has problem up to here? Question. So if there are n number of networks to assign IP addresses dynamically, yeah, if you have the n number of network, you need the n number of DSCP. That means DSCP servers. That means each network you need the separate server, DSCP server. Okay, as in that now for this network, you have to put the DSCP server. You can use either this kind of server or you can use the router. Assume that for this one, you need another DSCP server because this is another network. Okay, but the DNS configuration, you can manually put wherever the DNS configuration. DNS server can be in a separate network. Okay, that means if you have n number of networks, you need n number of DSCP servers, not the pools. Actually, pools mean also n number of networks pools available. You need the n number of network, so DSCP pools, DSCP servers. Anyone has any other problem? Is there a LabX ISO assignment on this lab session? Yeah, there will be an assignment. I told you assignment 1 is available in the module. So here assignment 1, it is held on the 29th December from 1:30 to 2:30. You will have 1 hour, and this assignment covered up to today's lab session. Okay, that means all 5 labs you need to consider. That means you have to check the lab exercise 1, lab exercise 2, lab exercise 3, 4, 5. This assignment is based on up to lab exercise 5. It is not this kind of simple network. There can be several routers, there can be several switches, there can be several DHCP servers, several DNS servers, as well as from the other lab session, sometimes you may, some paper versions you will get the static configuration, static routing. Some paper versions you may get the dynamic routing. So you have to check the everyone, static routing, dynamic routing, and the subnetting. The previous one, this one, subnetting. So that means you need to subnet. You will be given a network address, you have to subnet. So we do not provide the network address separately. We give you only one network. You have to separate, subnet, and put the IP addresses. As well as you have to know the knowledge of previous lab sessions also. That means collision domains, broadcast domains, and as well as topology information and what layers the that network devices works. Example, router works in layer 3, that switch works in layer 2. So those that knowledge also should be there. If you don't know, actually it is very hard to answer the assignment 1. Therefore, you need the knowledge of up to lab sheet 5. Assignment 1 is based on up to lab sheet 5. So it is little bit huge network. You have to configure within 1 hour. Okay. And remember that so actually you have done the previous one, no? This kind of exercise, lab exercise 3. So you have done this kind of one. So an example, let's say 1 attempt. So you will get this kind of ones. You have to do, you have download the assignment 1.pka file and do the configuration. I think you have experience. You have done this one in the previous, and upload it to the Moodle. And remember that so when you are doing this one, so this label name should be as it is. So here you know this is router 0. If it is router 0, put it as router 0. So assume that erroneously it is mentioned as router 3. In your network it is mentioned as router 3, but in the exercise, so assume that this is the exercise. Here it is mentioned as router 0. Actually it is not visible. Here this is router 0. Then rename this one to 0. Clear, that means clearly rename. Otherwise, assume that 40 marks assigned for this router. If you incorrectly misspell this one, then entire 40 marks will be lost. Why I say you this again and again? Remember, this marking is automated. No human being will mark your paper. That means if you put, so in the last lab session, that means not the last lab session, last exercise, that means lab exercise 3, I saw that some students put some space here, router space 0. Then what happened? Entire 40 marks will be lost because the packet tracer server check router 0 is available, but you rename as router space 0, then you will be lost entire marks. Therefore, carefully put the label names as it is. If this is server 1, put it is server 1. Do not put server 2 or server 3. Do not put any spaces. So can we put a practice paper in the Moodle? Okay, I will try to put a practice paper. And remember that not only the labels, device port also should be as it is. So here you know this is fast Ethernet 0/0. So put the fast Ethernet 0/0. Do not use fast Ethernet 1/0. That means 0/0 තිබ්බනම් 0/0 use කරන්න ඕන. So here fast Ethernet 0/1. Therefore use the fast Ethernet 0/1. If it is mentioned the switch as 2950, take the 2950 switch. Diagram එකේ දෙන්නේ මොන switch එකද? ඒ නම් switch එක එහෙම් පිටින්ම ගන්න. වෙන වෙන switches ගන්න එපා. Okay? So clearly put the labels. Assume that accidentally your label has been changed to this one as 3, but it should be 2. Erroneously it has been, whatever you taken, it has 3. Then you can simply click this one, change this one to the 2. It is very easy. Okay, when you are changing, but clearly check whether sometimes when you are changing you put 0, sorry, space and 2, then entire marks assigned for this server will be lost. So that is why I told you again and again, carefully rename the labels. Actually you do not need to rename. When you are dragging and drop the devices, it will be automatically come the default name. So I also put the default name as it is. I also do not change the names in the diagram. Therefore, accidentally sometimes this kind of thing may be happen. Assume that now you take the first two routers. Assume that first two routers actually asked that I asked the 1841 router. Assume that this router I asked, but you accidentally taken router PT. Then what you have done? Then you can simply erase. You can use the delete this one, delete this one. Then you can take this one here and here. Okay, then what happened? Then it is not the router 0 and router 1. Now it is 4 and 5. Then when you are configuring this router, you will lost entire marks. Therefore, simply think what you have to do is change this one to the 0. Because in the question paper, assume that in the question paper, assume that this is the question paper. So not this one. Assume that this is the question paper. So here it is mentioned as, assume that router 0 and router 1. Here router 1 and here it is not clearly mentioned. So therefore router 0 and this is router 1. Remove the 5 and put 1. Then you will get entire marks. මේ පොඩි දෙයක් ගන්න තියෙන වැරදිලා හරි මේ රවුට් එක වෙනස් වෙන නම්බරයක් ආවොත් මෙතනට ඒ නම්බරය අයින් කරලා අදාළ නම්බරය දාන්න එතන. And remember that there is another thing, so you will lose another marks if you do not press submit again. That means submit all and finish. So remember that. So I will put sample one for you. Assume that now I will add the quiz. Let's say test quiz. Assume that 1 minute is the time. Okay, now when you are using this one, assume that now this is the one. After you configuring, you have to, before this time expire, you have to upload your file. Assume that this is your file. Assume that this is your file and upload. After that, press finish attempt. Okay, and remember that if you have more time, assume that now you have more time available. If you want, you can go to the return attempt again and you can change this one. Assume that now you have modified. Again, you can drag and drop and override. Drag and drop and override. If you want, again, drag and drop and override. Before the time expired, you can do finished attempt. Okay, and remember that before this time expired, you have to press submit all and finish. This button you have to press. So press the submit all and finish before this time expire and submit all and finish. If you do not press submit all and finish, your attempt will not be counted. So that is also a must. Okay, now I will erase this one. And those are the important things you need to remember when you are doing the assignment. So anyone has any other problem up to here? Any other problem? If you don't have any question, then I can conclude the lab session. Okay, no question. Okay, then I will conclude the lab session and thank you for participation.